VCS04 Learning Outcome 7. Aims and objectives. Learning Outcome 7 wants for you to understand the feeding and watering and basic nutrition requirements of animals and characteristics of foodstuffs. Explain the nutritional requirements of the commonly presented species seen in veterinary practice. Terms associated to feeding type, and there is an associated research task. Describe the basic ingredients of foodstuffs suitable for the commonly presented species. Determine the function of protein, fat, carbohydrates, water, vitamins and minerals in the animal diet. Recognise the changing needs of animal diets throughout life stages, and outline the impact of hospitalisation on dietary requirements. And that covers Learning Outcome 7, and that's 7A through to F. What I would like you to do first and foremost is complete this task before you work through the remainder of the PowerPoint. It covers aspect 7B, and that is to ensure that you have an understanding of the terms that will arise within this PowerPoint video. Nutrition is of real importance, and appropriate nutrition at that. It is vital in relation to maintaining an animal's optimum health and also their normal activity levels. It is the responsibility of the owner to ensure the animal's nutritional requirements are met, and when caring for people's pets in veterinary practice, it is our responsibility to do so. So we must have the understanding and awareness of their nutritional needs to ensure that these are met. (7A) Explain the nutritional requirements for the commonly presented species seen in veterinary practice. We will work through the requirements for the dog, cat and rabbit. Nutritional needs of the cat. They may be considered as obligate carnivores. They must be provided with some animal-derived materials in their diet. This is essential. They have some very particular needs, and we must ensure these needs are met. Compared to the dog, they have a higher dietary requirement for protein. They do not cope well with diets lower in protein, and this is due to the cat having a very limited ability to regulate amino acid catabolism. They have a very high dietary requirement for taurine. They have a particular sensitivity to arginine deficiency, a limited ability to synthesize niacin, a dietary requirement for vitamin A, and they also have a limited ability to be able to metabolize carbohydrates. This means that cats have an intolerance of diets that are high in such carbohydrates. Nutritional requirements of the dog. The dog is a member of the order Carnivora, i.e. they are a carnivore. However, we can further classify the dog as omnivorous. The dog could survive on a diet composed solely of vegetable material. However, a diet based on animal material would be preferred. Nutritional requirements of rabbits. They are herbivores. They have a dietary requirement for high levels of fibre. Pelleted diets are available, but it is vitally important that rabbits are encouraged and provided with the means of being able to consume hay or grass products. This is vital to ensure gastrointestinal motility and to ensure that dental wear occurs appropriately, i.e. wearing of their teeth. The diet should be high quality and hay-based. Rabbits should not be fed a muesli diet, as that encourages selective feeding, which we do not want, and also they are high in sugar and starches. I would like you to utilise the link provided below to read further information about the reasons underlying the points raised above. (7C) Describe the basic ingredients of foodstuffs suitable for the commonly presented species. Many owners will feed their pets commercially prepared pet foods. These diets are nutritionally balanced, however owners should follow feeding guide instructions to ensure the nutritional balance is maintained. Ideally, a complete diet will provide a balanced diet when fed on this solely. Such diets will also support animals throughout specific life stages, i.e. growth, maintenance or reproduction. And such complete diets don't require any supplementation other than for fresh water to be provided at all times. If using what we term a complementary diet, this is to be fed in combination with a further food source such as a biscuit mixer or a canned meat. Describe the basic ingredients of foodstuffs suitable for the commonly presented species. There are three main types or forms of commercially prepared pet foods. They generally are dry, and that includes both complete diets and biscuits. They have a small moisture content of around 10 to 14% and are usually made up of dry, flaked or crushed cereals and vegetables, and many will also include a meat-based dry protein concentrate. Such a food always needs to have water provided with it. Moist. These have a higher moisture content of around 60 to 85%, provided within foil cans, pouches, etc., and generally have a higher meat content and are set in gravy or jelly. They tend to be very palatable at the same time as providing important vitamins and minerals. Semi-moist has a moisture content of around 25 to 40%, made up of a meat and cereal mixture which is cooked into a paste form. Within the associated table, we have a list of the basic ingredients of dog and cat food, and these are broken down into the various types listed in the previous slide, so dry food, canned food and semi-moist. Make a note of these for your own reference, and this was taken from the VCS04 textbook 2007, and I've also provided a link that you could utilise to take you to the Royal Canin website for further information on the above. Basic ingredients of rabbit food. Rabbits need to be provided with dietary hay, as already stated, as well as a pelleted rabbit food. A good example of what should be included is listed below, and that is taken from Burgess 2018, who are a well-known rabbit food product brand. So please, if you want to look into it any further, I recommend having a look at not only their website, but also the Rabbit Awareness website as well. The following slide relates to a task for you to complete to cover 7D, and what I would like you to do is, using textbooks and any PC-based resources, complete the associated handout provided, and that's going to allow you to determine the functions of the above components, which are protein, fat, carbohydrate, water, vitamins and minerals in the animal diet. Please complete this as a document and upload it so that your veterinary educationalist can mark this. Throughout your units, we have talked about changing life stages and how needs can vary, and again this will vary in relation to nutritional requirements. Nutritional requirements are going to change throughout an animal's life stages. Consider the difference in relation to the growth in a puppy and that of a geriatric dog who is no longer growing. What I would like you to do is, again, using textbooks and resources, research the differences in relation to this and see the associated handout for you to produce for your veterinary educationalist to mark. Seven A, outline the impact of hospitalisation on dietary requirements. Hospitalisation can have a real impact. Patients' dietary requirements need to be considered at all times. Consider why they are considered in the first place. Is it due to a minor or a major day procedure such as neutering? And consider the fact that in relation to that the animal would be starved generally prior to this, specifically in relation to cats and dogs. However, we do not starve our rabbits. Other reasons for hospitalisation are related to medical care, whether it be chronic or acute cases, a more invasive or extensive surgery that requires good post-operative care, and intravenous fluid therapy, to name but a few. Is change the norm? not only relates to why they're in the practice, but also relates to their environment, their health, and all that needs to be considered, as does how the body needs to be appropriately supported when it comes to nutrition. We must also, for patients that are hospitalised, ensure that we carry out a daily weight check and also a body conditioning score. This is key to ensure that we are monitoring their weight and ensuring that they are not losing weight. And unfortunately, loss of weight is actually more common than you think, as this can be an area that is overlooked. RER, or the resting energy requirement, is of consideration at this point in time and will need to have patients' weight and body condition score taken into account. Nutritional problems. As we've already said, nutrition is a vital part of patient care, and if we have poor nutrition being provided to a patient, that will hinder and potentially exacerbate the healing and repair processes that are taking place within the body. Thus, we need to adequately support our patient through consideration of this. We must also ensure that we consider nutrition through anticipation of any complications that could occur. So this is why weighing and carrying out body condition scoring within patients daily is vital to ensure that we monitor their weight. Unfortunately, nutrition is often overlooked or considered quite on in a patient's care, and this should not be the case. This is where our nursing care plans can have a real advantage on this sort of point of view, because it enables us to anticipate and think about potential problems prior to them occurring. Through anticipation, we can intervene appropriately when required, and this will speed up the patient's recovery and improve their outcome ultimately. If a patient is malnourished, there is a higher risk of mortality. Resting energy requirements, RER. It is important that we consider the patient's daily minimal requirements of calories. The formula that you need to be aware of is as follows. An RER relates to the calories required for the day. It takes into account smaller patients below 2 kilograms and those that are over 2 kilograms. We did used to talk about and concentrate on BER, however in recent years RER has become more of a relevant formula for us to use. In summary, we have covered all aspects of learning outcome 7, 7A to 7F in relation to this video lesson and also the associated tasks that you will have completed.